Here we go. Hello everybody. Hello. No fancy video today. Welcome to the Roundtable Podcast live for February 12th, 2016. I want to apologize that we're late and that there were technical difficulties. I tried to play the intro video, and then when I hit intro video, XSplit just froze, but you could still hear me, but I couldn't interact with anything. So I had to reboot my computer a couple of times, just gave up on the video, and we're going to go live. So, we're here. No Bear again this week. I think he'll be out for the rest of the month, so you get me and all the technical difficulties that come with me hosting. And, of course, my lovely friends, Northern Lion, Rockley Smile, and Michael A.L. Fox.
Heyo.
Hello.
I'm not saying hello until you play the intro.
It's just not going to happen.
You just said it. You just said it.
That's in my rider.
It's in your what?
No, hello was nested within quotation marks. That
You
doesn't
just said it
count
again.
as literal hello.
It counts
Still,
enough.
it was in double quotation marks that time.
Exactly.
Every time he says it, it gets one layer deeper.
Well, that's fine. If you never talk for the rest of the podcast, Ryan, I personally won't complain.
Man, did you make us live on your channel, perchance?
No, it says Roundtable.
I'm refreshing and it.
No, it says Roundtable Live. It says I'm live on the Roundtable Podcast. It says it.
You're not live though, buddy.
Yeah.
XSplit says I'm live. XSplit says I'm live.
It's on.
Oh wait, no, we got in.
Yeah, no, you're there. You're fine.
Don't lie to me like that.
I didn't lie to you. It took 45 seconds for it to come up. None of our fans got caught.
It's still offline for me, so
We did like half the intro with nothing.
Are you serious? This is the greatest.
Yeah,
This is the greatest day of all time. This is
Why
the
don't we
greatest.
just start
podcast.
over?
Hello, we're back, everybody. Welcome to the Roundtable Live for today, February 12th, 2016. We were talking for like a minute there because it says I was live, but it's apparently not live. Hello, no music today. So, as I was saying previously, I tried to play the music.
You heard it, man.
What? As I was saying previously that you couldn't hear, if I hit the play the intro video, XSplit froze, and I had to reboot twice because I tried to do it twice. So no intro video. Fuck it. I don't care. We just got to get the podcast going. There's still no Bear. Bear will be out for the rest of the month. I will be hosting. That is unfortunate for all these technical difficulties. And as always, I will be joined by my good friends, Northern Lion, Rockley Smile, and Michael A.L. Fox. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. We're sorry.
I'm not saying hello until the
Good. Let's redo that whole bit again.
It still stands. It's in my rider.
I'm
it's
sorry.
contract.
It is in his contract, the non-existent one. I'm sorry. I don't know what's causing it. I will mess with it during the week. But this week, it's got a kind of a weird bit of news. There's like some weird stuff going on, as in like not a lot of exciting things happening in the week. But we are going to be talking about Firewatch today, or what little we can without spoiling it, or if none of us care, and you don't care, we might spoil it. Talk about Activision and its revenue being mostly digital nowadays, Twitch 2015 Retrospective, the Destiny announcement, Titanfall 2 announcement, and Isaac being rejected from the iOS App Store. I figured we just get right into Firewatch, because I'm not sure how much we're going to be discussing about it.
Why do you flip the script, Mathis?
What do you mean flip the script?
We've been
The
running
games at the end every time.
We've been running the
Since
roundtable
when is there like a format?
since always. We've always done like intro.
Uh-huh.
You already fucked that one. News, and then games, and then ask roundtable, and then Nick's weird games.
All right, fine. We'll start with some news.
And the last 2 weeks now, you're starting with the games.
I just
and
want to
then
switch it up, man.
You do like a game and then a news story. And
Right,
then
whatever
a game,
segues
and
well into it, you know? It doesn't
I
really
don't know
matter.
what to do with this.
All right, I'm sorry. We'll start with Activision's revenue share being 53% digital and Skylanders and Guitar Hero underperforming.
Boring.
Wow, your camera is...
Yeah, nice camera.
What
shithead.
the...
All
Is
right.
it going wild?
You're blurred out like a girl gone
You look
wild.
like somebody smeared Vaseline on your camera right
Did
now.
it help my frame rate?
A little.
I mean,
I
it
don't know,
might
maybe.
have.
This is a Wes Anderson film or something.
Put his finger in my butt.
I thought you were going to be like the bald man from XCOM.
Commander, that's when Mathis put his finger in my butt. What
Uh,
about
oh, hey, we're back. All right, we're good. Yeah, so we'll start there. Activision's digital revenue is 53% of its total earnings, while Skylanders and Guitar Hero underperform. It's not really surprising. I feel like we actually talked about this a little bit last week, how digital is kind of like the way of the beast as it is right now. We talked a little bit about GameStop going into the publisher grounds, and maybe that's their way to make more money. What? Don't laugh at the way of the
I was
beast
laughing at
saying.
Ryan's freaking camera being 2 frames per second. That's all.
It's fucked. It's terrible. It's fine. I guess I'm not. I personally am not too surprised about the digital. I'm also not too surprised about Guitar Hero underperforming at this
I'm
point.
surprised about Skylanders because I thought people could eat up infinite plastic toys forever.
I guess.
I mean, that the existence of amiibos maybe cuts into Skylanders a little bit because, like, the way I understand it is that most people probably bought Skylanders because there were no Nintendo characters, and they're like, oh, I'll get like a freaking blue bear that shoots ice out of his face or something like that. But now they got the opportunity to take like Mario and like iconic Nintendo characters, so I think a lot of people are like, hey, we can do this instead.
They
Maybe.
even did
They're not the only ones either. There's the Marvel one, and then there's also like the Disney Infinity and the Lego one now. Everybody's got freaking platforms to put fake plastic things on now.
It's true. I have.
It's real plastic.
Well, they're not. Yeah, no, they're real. You're right.
I obviously collect amiibos. It's a problem, but I have like 8 of the Star Wars ones. It's Disney Infinity 3.0. They're really nice looking. I take those out of the box. I don't know why those are okay to take out of the box in my mind, but those are not.
They're not.
I don't know why. There's really no reason why I should not be cracking these open, but I just don't.
See, the problem is for the few people that haven't cracked them open, they're playing the long game, man. You're gonna regret it.
That
in
Golden
10,
Mario,
15
man,
years.
it's gonna be worth a few thousand in
They
20
could
years.
buy those amiibos for $15, keep them in the box on their shelf, taking up real estate for 20 or 30 years, and eventually sell them for $30, which is less than the 3% inflation.
Golden Mario's worth like 70. All right.
You could sell that and buy a Mario game.
Hey, man, I'm just
already have
saying, a
them.
lot of people threw out their Black Lotuses back in the day.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of people,
That's
I'm
probably
sure.
Yeah, a lot of people also held on to their Beanie Babies, though.
That's true.
Yeah, but they're
Did
cute.
wasn't there like a couple who like invested all of their kids' graduation fund into Beanie Babies, thinking they were gonna make them a ton of money, and in the end just did not.
Oh,
I remember reading about that.
was there a kid
It's
named
sad.
Turok? Because that sounds like the type of fantasy.
Their kid is goldenpalacecasino.com.
It's terrible.
Well,
Did any of you pick up Guitar Hero?
No.
I did not.
I didn't.
I heard
didn't
it
get
was
either
good
of them, actually.
for what it was.
Did anyone get Rock Band while we're at it?
Yeah.
No.
All right, you got Rock Band. Well, your camera flipped. Did your camera just flip?
What are you talking about?
Well,
No,
yep, it's
he-
flipping.
Your camera's possessed by the devil.
That's a
Abracadabra.
good one. I think I prefer that side. Like this one.
It's like you're dancing with your shoulders.
I can't
Alright,
tell.
you
I
know.
hope that's you doing it because it's fucking tripping me.
All
All right.
I don't think it's really surprising that, what was it, 53%?
Yeah, 53% of it is all digital at this point.
But I mean, you have to look, because I used to think like, oh, well, they're not printing on, discs. They're not shipping them out to retail stores, so they should be saving a lot of money. But then I guess you have to think, too, now they're relying more on servers and stuff for people to download. So I don't know if the numbers are out there. It'd be pretty interesting to see the cost comparison of maintaining servers so people can download versus printing on discs, millions of discs, and shipping them out to the stores. So I guess that kind of 53%. That seems.
At the same time for consumers, it's just more convenient to download digitally at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised we don't have an Activision like download platform like Origin.
Yeah,
Well-
great idea. We should have more of those.
Well, I don't want more. I'm just surprised they haven't jumped on that freaking
Yeah,
ship
no,
yet.
I'm with you.
As long as they keep their, Call of Duty Black Ops 1 games at, like, retail price until 10 years after they've come out, I think they're probably doing okay there.
Yeah,
I
true.
still, like, the Steam sales still blow my mind, where you're like, Call of Duty Black Ops 1, 33% off. You're like, that's not how the Steam economy works, Mr. Activision. Bobby Kotick, that game should be 80 cents now.
I hate every picture of Bobby Kotick. I just dislike.
Wow,
I know.
that's extremely superficial, man.
I know. I'm aware. But I guess it's not terribly surprising. I'm curious too. This is a segue. We can use this as a segue, everybody. This is gonna be great. Titanfall 2 is Activision, isn't it?
As EA, you joker.
Damn it. Never mind.
What's
we're not
the
gonna.
difference?
What were you hitting on
If you
your
didn't call
keyboard
out
for?
the segue, then you wouldn't have had
Shit.
to have a problem there.
Shit. It's fine. This is why I'm in charge. So we're going to talk about Titanfall 2 has announced, moving away from Activision because I feel like we've talked about that now. It's going to have not only just a single player it's going to have a possible TV tie-in.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest complaint I had with Titanfall, the original, was that you kind of saw everything really quickly. You unlocked everything very fast. There wasn't much to do after the multiplayer. And I personally wanted a single player because they were trying to tell this like weird, what was it, like a Civil War story through multiplayer. They were trying to tell their story through multiplayer, and it was just not working. So I'm hoping that the single player for Titanfall 2 is going to be a lot better.
Did you feel like there was really a story? Because I kind of got the impression
they were
it was
trying
all
to
about
tell
running
us
on walls
story.
and robots falling out of the sky, and that's about as far as I got.
I mean, there was a story, but it was just poorly told, I think.
I'll believe them that there could be a story to those prophets existing.
Did any of you guys watch the Halo Machinima produced, like, what was it, Unto Dawn or Unto...
Oh, yeah, Halo Unto Dawn.
Nope, I did not.
Forward Unto Dawn. Halo FUD is what I called it.
FUD you, buddy.
It hit with a resounding thud, if you know what it... Actually, it was pretty well produced, honestly.
Was it?
That's good.
I didn't watch it.
The trailer for me didn't sell me. I never bothered with it. Plus,
Okay.
like...
Do you play Halo? Our resident Halo player is missing, so...
That's actually very true.
Yeah, I stopped at Halo 2 with Ryan.
That's true. I had not bought a Halo since Halo 2. Not out of principle, but just it just passed me by.
Is it telling that we started talking about Titanfall 2 and we're already at Halo?
Dude, I don't know. This is you're pushing my buttons, man. People are so fucking cynical about this AAA shit. Don't even know what company makes it. Don't even know if there's a story in it, but I hate it because I've been told.
I didn't say I hate it. I said I hope it's good. I said I wanted a single player to Titanfall 1.
It doesn't seem like you played the multiplayer to Titanfall 1.
Did I? Yes, I did. I played with you a few times.
That seems unlikely.
Ryan was drunk.
Dude, Titanfall 1 is really good.
It was good. I have no problem. Where are you getting that I have a problem with Titanfall 1?
I
to
seem
the
like you
man.
have a problem with it, yeah.
It seemed like you had a problem with it.
I said
dude.
I would have loved to have a single player with it. That was my one thing. I wanted a single player with it. I feel like the only problem that I have Titanfall is that people were kind of like all about it for 2 weeks, and then people just dropped it, and there was no more community to play.
How do you feel about this whole? I mean, the past few years, you've seen a lot of the Call of Duties and this and that. They've had their campaigns, but they've been fairly formulaic from one to the next. How do you feel about just games in general being like, no, we're just going to do all online and like not even going to bother with the half-ass campaign?
I'm okay with that. I mean, like Rainbow Six Siege is a prime example of being all online and doing it really well. I think Rainbow Six Siege has a ton of replayability, and they just came out with like new operators. I want to go back and play some of them.
Canada.
Yeah, they are Canadian.
That's why they shoot ice. Makes sense. I think it's great. I think
You
Evolve.
seem to have Canadians confused with the first boss in the Mega Man X Chill Penguin. Spoilers.
And I think one thing we talked about last week is Evolve. Like, Evolve had the potential to be a great multiplayer-only game, but they fucked it with DLC for the most part. But I'm fine with it. I totally am on board with, like, multiplayer-only games, as long as it is able to maintain its community. I don't really know, like, if I try to pinpoint why Titanfall lost its online community, the only thing I can think of is that it was really quick to progress, or like I honestly don't really understand why Titanfall lost its community so quickly.
Think of how many like online shooters, whatever, MMOs, like all these different games that are coming out now. I mean, back when Halo 2 was out, what else was online? Like there wasn't a ton of competition in terms of the shooter arena.
What came out around Titanfall's time? Let me take a look.
My perspective on this, while you look this up, is that, and I don't know, this is like the 30th time I've talked about it on the podcast probably, but it's all tied to like consumer confidence. And if it's a multiplayer only game, then your friends are like, well, I don't think it's worth $60 to get this multiplayer only game. And you're like, well, I'm not going to get this $60 multiplayer game if nobody else is getting it. And then, you know, it just sort of falls apart. Like a lot of our friends, we had the same situation with Rainbow Six Siege. Yeah. Where people were like, where we were like, it's really good. We're like evangelists for the game. And they're like, but I think I'd probably stop playing it in like a week. And you're like, well, you're doing it to yourself. Yeah. I mean, you did save the money. You didn't buy the game, which is fine. But at the same time, like if it's a multiplayer only game, you're kind of like feeding into the problem, which is not to say you have to buy it if you don't want it, but rather like, I think that's like the snowball effect that contributes to it.
Yeah, I think it's a time investment kind of thing. Like people are like, well, yeah, I'll get this if I know that I'm gonna be putting 100, 200 hours into it, and like you, my friends, are also gonna be playing it. Like everybody needs to get on board, but I think just the sheer volume of games now it's making it harder and harder to like just pick one and go with it. The same thing kind of happened with Rocket League. I mean, that's not a shooter, but it's still like I played online a fair bit, and it's just been like trying to get other people to play it, but they're just like, well, I don't.
There's still a pretty big community for Rocket League, though. Like you can get a match pretty quickly, I'm assuming.
I mean, there's a lot of people still playing it. It's not like when it first, the first couple weeks where it was peaked at like 160 some odd thousand concurrent users. I mean, it's still good, but again, it's just like a time investment. People are just like, I have to pick a game to get good at. I don't want to be like shitty at 5 different games, and I don't want to spend $300 on 5 different games.
Do you think that's why? Because I mean, you could argue Call of Duty is mostly at this point a multiplayer only game. The campaigns last like 3 hours, 4 hours.
Oh, they're like
last one was like 7 or 8.
Did it? I didn't. I haven't. The last one I played was Black Ops 1, and it was like 6. It was like a 5 or 6.
Talking about Black Ops 3.
Okay, so so like 8-hour campaigns actually pretty beefy. It's more than I expected it to be.
It was real bad though. Like it was boring and
really?
not very interesting and kind of hilariously badly written. But
I guess
it was long. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's something there. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is, do you think the reason they maintain their community and there's so many people playing it, which is mostly just a multiplayer-only game, is because they have years of legacy and years of people playing it and just being good at it, and they don't want to shift over to something else?
It's a perception thing, isn't it? They're saying, well, we're banking on all the prior years of Call of Duty being good, and we know that although my friends might be fickle, if they're going to be fickle about anything, it's going to be other things than Call of Duty.
Right.
They've also got a proven track record of roughly how much content you can expect for your $60, whereas something like Titanfall comes out, you go, well, I don't know, 4 or 5 maps and then a season pass? I don't know what value I'm getting out of this. Maybe it's going to change, maybe not.
I think it's a lot to do with familiarity too, right? Like the Call of Duties, you can go from one to the next, and there's a few tweaks here and there. Obviously, new maybe content or like it's a different thematically, but generally the mechanics are pretty much similar, which is huge for competitive gaming, right? Like guys who play first-person shooters professionally aren't going to want to go from Titanfall to Call of Duty to Battlefield to this and that, right? They're generally going to pick a track and just go with it as long as they can. So
yeah, Battlefield's another example. Like its single-player campaign is always fucking terrible. It's non-existent.
You think so?
The last one was for 4 was super short, and it was like the AI was broken. Like they were just
grouping
dumb.
in like Bad Company, because I thought those were generally pretty well.
No, I'm talking about the more recent ones. I'm talking about like 4, the Cops versus Robbers one, which I can't remember the name of. Hardline, which I don't even think did that well anyway. But those are all multiplayer exclusive, and people were all about Titanfall for a couple weeks, but it just lost its community. But again, that was also like it came back out in March 2014, so almost 2 years ago, 2 years ago at this point. I mean, maybe the climate has changed a little bit as far as multiplayer is concerned. I'd be curious to see how long Rainbow Six maintains like a steady player base. Because I remember when Titanfall was on sale a couple months ago, and I was tweeting out like, does anybody play this game anymore? I was looking at numbers, and people were like, no one really plays Titanfall. There's like nobody online. Finding a match is hard.
The consequence, I think, is that we're going to see stuff like what I cynically maybe sort of think is going to happen in games like Battleborn and hopefully not Titanfall 2, but companies are going to be like, hey, there's like a huge perception that this game failed because it doesn't have a single player campaign, so we're going to tick the box. And then
is Battleborn getting a single player campaign?
That was like in the trailer that we watched at the Battleborn event in like October. They were like, pay attention to this part. It has a single player campaign. Like,
that's
subtext meaning we've learned from Evolve that you have to have fucking something or people will just get mad at you. So,
well, I would argue, like, again, Evolve wasn't, I don't think, a lack of a single-player campaign.
No.
It was just, it got beat with the DLC bag.
It's both.
Packages. It was like you're binding Windows XP, Home Premium, Business User, Extreme Edition. You're like, I was looking at all these different packages, and I was like, what the hell are they doing?
That surprises me that Battleborn is going to have a single-player campaign.
I don't think it should, because like
I agree. It's like a MOBA.
Don't have single-player.
A MOBA-esque game.
They get railed on. Like, even Rainbow Six, it has like the most shoehorned in like situations. There's like 10 levels that are like 8 minutes long each. And then they're like, well, you can play it single player, but like it's basically
I like the situations, as stupid as it sounds, because they were an easy way to get the operators unlocked that didn't involve grinding the multiplayer.
I think the situations were good for. I think the situations were good to explain, like, because each one was like operator specific. Yeah. It was a good introduction to how those worked, like you said, and it gave you good ways to unlock them with, like, gave you a lot of things, but it gave you a good tutorial on how, like, levels worked, how levels were laid out. I feel like they served more as a tutorial than they did as a single player campaign.
I would agree with that.
I got,
but
that's what
it allows them to on Steam have the
like check them single player
that
mark.
Says single player.
I guess.
So
Battleborn
it's like it's not a zero sum game. Like it's not fair to say like, oh, well, focus on having like great multiplayer or focus on having great single player. Some situations you can do both, and some you might not have resources to do either. But like, it bums me out when I feel like a lot of the reason Titanfall didn't have staying power is because people were like, oh, it doesn't have a single player campaign, and I'm like, I have no interest whatsoever in the single player campaign. And if they had just like thrown in like a shoehorned Rainbow Six style like situation thing, that wouldn't have like enhanced the game, I feel, at all. But I don't know.
Maybe it'll get more people to buy it. Like,
exactly. From a business perspective, sure, maybe it sells more copies, but I don't think it makes it a better game.
Right, I agree.
But I don't know. I guess the thing with AAA games is sometimes they have to be everything for everybody, right? They can't be they can't just be this niche product.
I mean, Overwatch isn't going to have a single player campaign, and it's going to be upfront price for a basically multiplayer only experience. But they could probably ride by on the fact that it's a Blizzard game.
I think that's probably fair, yeah.
I thought Titanfall was going to be able to ride by on the coattails initially of, like, we made Call of Duty. Like, we created the Call of Duty franchise. Now check out this new game, and it just didn't work. It's a shame, but we'll see. If it bolsters the multiplayer community and, like, keeps Titanfall 2 around longer, I guess it's not a bad thing, but I agree with you that I don't think it needs a single-player campaign.
I feel like if you don't want to buy a multiplayer-only game, that's fine.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, that, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying you should buy it, but, like, you shouldn't buy it. You shouldn't buy a multiplayer-focused game just because it has a single-player campaign, I guess is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an inbuilt pitchman, though. Like, if your friends aren't into the game and all of them around you have shut it down, the only thing that could be left for you to do is play the single player and then hope that you can find a new group that might play with you in multiplayer. But if you don't even have the single player at all, what incentive do you have to even want to bother? Like, why would you even buy it at that point?
You solo queue?
I would never do that, but I guess some people do.
Certain games solo queuing's fine. Other games, it's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. Then you're at the whims of the matchmaking as well, which for like Rainbow Six was a bit of a nightmare too.
I will agree. Like, I feel like Rainbow Six especially is one of those games that playing solo queue is a lot more difficult because it relies so heavily on communication and like working as a team.
Yeah.
Where Titanfall, like, solo queuing wasn't a big deal. It was more of a free for all Call of Duty style, just run and gun. Tactics isn't really something you're concerned yourself about. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, games. A lot of multiplayer games, right? You've got your team deathmatch and team objective-based ones, and of course you've got your one for all, or what do you call it? I am my own man. I'm gonna kill all of you fuckers game mode kind of thing, and that works. I mean, obviously you can't do that in Rainbow Six because its core is teamwork. So
yeah,
I'll play single player stuff sometimes online, but I don't know. I feel like games to me, like I when I play them, I much prefer just playing them with people I know, or if I'm playing a single player, at least getting to talk about it. When you start playing an online shooter by yourself, it's like, oh dude, like I got 3 no scopes yesterday. Like, you're not gonna talk about that later, so it's kind of like, I don't know, it's whatever.
They were too old.
Well, it's the single player is gonna be so good that there's gonna be a TV tie-in, so which we know nothing about. And I have no idea if it's going to be any good.
This is going to be a wild couple of years for TV shows and movies about video games. Apparently, this is happening all over the damn place.
What's
Assassin's Creed movies and things coming like that?
Warcraft,
yeah. Where's my other? I want them to reboot Hitman like a third time.
They came out with one last year, man.
I know it was terrible. I want another one. Like, dude.
Maybe they'll make a TV show for you.
Spider-Man over here.
Max Payne was so bad.
Mark Wahlberg again.
Max Payne may genuinely be the worst video game movie.
It was so
No, wasn't the one Blood Rain?
I was about to say
the Uwe Boll movies, they have like some so bad it's good charm. Max Payne is just like
Resident Evil.
Look, I enjoyed the first couple of Resident Evils.
Classics, Fox. You should know this.
exactly.
Come on now.
Sorry.
Well, I guess we'll see when the time comes. I'm excited. I'm still excited for Titanfall 2 because I enjoyed Titanfall 1. I just hope that the online lasts a little bit longer.
I'm not excited for Titanfall 2 at all, actually.
You're not?
It's not because of the game, it's because of the fucking people. I'll wait for you sons of bitches to buy it and play it for 4 days. And then you'll be, oh, it's really good. And then I'll think about getting in on it.
Hey, what are you trying to say? We weren't in on Rainbow Six? We were.
Just a little bit.
I'm ready for more Rainbow Six.
It's been me and Fox have been driving the Rainbow Six train. Everybody else is jumping off.
Are you still playing?
Like at least twice a week.
Well, he doesn't ask me anymore, though. I think that's
you're in bed by like midnight PST on a weeknight usually, which is fair.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not bad at all. Can't be mad at him for that. I didn't know you were still playing. You don't ask anymore.
That's because I asked for like 3 weeks straight. And everyone was like, "Oh, I don't know."
We should at least all play with the new operators and see how we feel.
Yeah, I'm down. That'd be fun.
Yeah. There's Dan Giesling in chat. Probably get him to join too.
Sure.
I think I'm off
I don't
the
want
train.
to. I don't want to. No, can't bring Dan in. Dan's just gonna make us lose.
That's true.
It's true. He's trash. Well, we'll move on to the next topic, which is something I actually didn't get a chance to read, which is the Twitch 2015 retrospective. I feel like it's something that, I mean, you and Nick and Ryan will probably have more, and Mike, you stream way more than I do.
No, say what you were gonna say.
I would say them too stream a ton, but I don't really stream all that often, so I mean, I really am not into the whole Twitch. I guess
You don't bleed purple, man.
I don't bleed purple, is what
God
I'm getting
damn it.
at. I'm sorry.
It's purple inside of your body. When the oxygen hits it, it turns.
Yeah.
I try, man. I tried to bleed purple. It just didn't work out for me. I bled red, and YouTube is red, so that's where I'm at. But what?
Oh, clever.
I know. Thank you. So the hit me with the retrospective. What are they talking about? How did everything go down for them this year?
They made money.
They were like, TwitchCon was cool.
None of us went to TwitchCon, right?
No.
The average Twitch viewer or the average visitor to Twitch watches like 2 hours more content per month on Twitch than they do on YouTube. Here's like a bunch of charity streams that did well, and that's basically.
So just like generally, they just like we did well this year.
Yeah, they're like, we opened a bunch of new servers. Here's some like charity community stuff, and here's like a little dig at YouTube. People watch more content, like less people, but more content watched per person.
Right, gotcha.
Than on YouTube, and then they were like, yeah, here's to a good, 2016. It wasn't really like a retrospective that you could look back and be like, I don't know. Like, I don't think there's that much meat to discuss, really.
I think the one thing I would like to talk about in particular is like this year was supposed to be the year of YouTube gaming, to be like the competitor for Twitch, and that flopped super hard. Like,
Did it?
Or you think
The year
it's still
just
in kind
started.
of in development?
it was around for like a month, and then it like nobody uses it. Who uses YouTube gaming? A few people used it for a little while. Omrecker used it for like maybe like a month, and then he just stopped because nobody watches on YouTube gaming.
There's like a huge advantage for Twitch to be first to the
Market, yeah.
market, yeah. Because like right now, if anybody, let's just invent a Twitch streamer right now that has 200 subscribers. So for that person to start streaming on YouTube gaming, even if YouTube gaming is a superior product, they're giving up hundreds of dollars a month, and they have no guarantee their audience is going to come over with them for the promise to eventually maybe be better, maybe be larger. So when you think of that, that's like 200 subscribers. Think of a channel that has 2,000 or 5,000.
Yeah.
Or, those people are giving up tens of thousands of dollars a month to try YouTube gaming. It seems like there's such a huge barrier to entry that only people that don't really stream seriously considered starting streaming and then starting on YouTube gaming.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being pretty optimistic about it because I thought, hey, competition, like this is competition and it can improve, but it just disappeared so fast, like out of the public eye.
Wow, like what Gaben was talking about. The internet never forgets after that whole paid mod stuff on Steam, and I think it's a bit of a similar story here with YouTube when they first came out with their live streaming and stuff. I had tried it for a while, and I had to stop because the chat, you'd have to refresh on my computer just so I could keep up with chat. And
I remember that. Like, it was really weird.
It was bad, and I think they have improved on it since then a fair bit, but it's just like people settled into Twitch pretty nicely because for the most part it has worked. They've taken in a lot of the feedback that they've gotten over the past while, and they've just done a stellar job. So yeah, like you said, Mathis, even if YouTube is now a superior product, it's just like people are content with the status quo, and that's a pretty powerful thing, I think.
It's a scary thing, though, to have everything relying on one website. I mean, you can say the same thing with like YouTube, having everything relying just on YouTube.
What about competition? It drives progress forward. And
Hitbox, right? Hitbox.
I haven't checked in on that. Like, is that still...
Go to Hitbox.
Hitbox is like my point about YouTube gaming, like giving up everything on Twitch to maybe have a better product. Yeah, man, I'm for it. It comes in even better on Hitbox, where people are like, "Hey, like Honeypop is banned on Twitch. Why don't you just stream it on Hitbox?" And I'm like, "That's giving it up for nothing. That is the worst business decision. Nothing against Honeypop, but man." The number of comments people would be like, "Play Honeypop," and like it's banned on Twitch. So, just do it on Hitbox.
Just do it on Hitbox.
What's the problem?
That's fine. No worries.
I can't smoke in my office. Oh, just go work in the alley down the street. Just quit your job, work in the alley.
Eat some trash.
Hitbox is equivalent to an alley. It is the stream equivalent of an alley, as Ryan
where
has
you can
said.
smoke.
Where you
could
can
be
smoke.
A nice alley. I don't know. I've never been there.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gone to Hitbox like a couple times, and the top streamer is like 100 viewers usually.
There's some people that do okay on it, I think, now.
You gotta bleed green.
They're bringing the audience to Hitbox.
Right.
Why do we all have to bleed all the damn time? Can't we keep our blood in our damn bodies?
I
need my blood.
I don't know if you guys saw, I got an email from Twitch this morning, actually.
No.
They've updated the dashboard to include, to replace the partnership tab with a revenue tab. So it shows you a graph of estimated earnings based on advertisements and subscribers and stuff like that. And they're opening up selling the Twitch shirts in the US and Europe at the same time.
Yeah, I saw that. They're going to have like Teespring EU campaigns. So the number one complaint about Teespring that people have is like, if you live not in America, shipping is like $9 to $20 per shirt,
Jesus.
which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But to have it now, you can have like an EU campaign as well that people from Europe can buy from and have a lower shipping cost.
It's a good idea, but it's really not well thought out. I was just dealing with this since I just launched my new campaigns right now. And what they want you to do is launch duplicate campaigns in both the US and the EU. Each of them have their own tipping level. So if you want to sell 50 shirts, you got to sell 50 in the US and 50 in Europe. And if you've got multiple campaigns, you can't combine your shipping amongst those campaigns, which is actually like costs a ton extra money for no reason. So they've got a lot of back-end work to do. It's good that they're moving toward opening things up to Europe, and hopefully they'll make it so it'll just be like, hey, I see your IP address is coming from Europe. Do you want to shop the European store? Because that's the only way it should ever be.
That's weird.
Seeing multiple duplicate stores makes no freaking sense.
Yeah,
so it's actually like two different web page addresses for the campaign.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like, it'd be nice if they streamlined it so it's still one page, but maybe they had, the little campaign counter. They just had two of them, one US and one Euro.
There's no reason it's got to be two at all.
I'm thinking that maybe what they do is they have like different factories that
they're printing over there. That's how they save.
Yeah, but I'm also thinking like the Teespring has been like that forever, to the point where even if someone launches like 3 campaigns at the same time, like when we did our first NLSS campaign like 2 years ago, you had to buy each shirt separately with separate shipping, and we're like, hey, is there any way we can combine this? And they're like, nah. Like,
No.
I actually like Teespring, and I think they're really like creator friendly. Like they allow you to get like really good.
They've been
margins on the
fantastic
shirts,
to me. They've
make
just
good
got some
stuff.
issues.
Yeah, but like you can't bundle your shirts, man. That's like that's ridiculous. Quite frankly, like.
They encourage you to start storefronts, and to start a storefront, you need to have 3 separate campaigns running. But you can't order things from each of those campaigns and have the shipping go together, even if it's from the same. It's leaving on the same day from the same location, and they won't group the shipping, which is going to cost someone like $15 extra for no reason.
I'm exploring Design by Human just opened up recently. Shops geared towards gamers, and they have Twitch integration and stuff like that. So when you're streaming, if somebody buys a shirt on your Design by Humans, it'll work with like Twitch alerts, and it'll actually put a little notification up on your thing, just like if somebody subscribes or whatever.
That's cool.
And yeah, it looks cool, and you can actually customize your storefronts, like to do your own branding and stuff like that. Although there's some really back alley stuff you have to do. You have to go through.
So you mean hitboxy stuff?
I guess so. Yeah, you have to send
some trash.
email to gaming@designbyhuman, and they'll help you with the custom CSS and HTML stuff. So that's what I've been trying to do, but I think I ended up in their spam box. But I don't know how that's going to work in terms of the actual printing and stuff like that. I think it's going to be more of just a long-standing storefront, right? Like somebody wants to buy your shirt whenever they click it, right?
I mean, I feel like I have one of those for Spreadshirt, but Spreadshirt's a little bit clumsy. I don't really like it, and I want to move my stuff off that and elsewhere, but
check out Design by Human. I was kind of in the same mindset. I was looking at Spreadshirt because they do have more products, right? I mean, they do mugs,
a ton
and
of products,
they do mouse pads and this and all that other stuff. But yeah, it just seemed a little too outdated to me, I guess.
It's outdated, and I mean, not to get in the nitty gritty, but the split is not very good either.
Yeah, someone's gonna pay $20 for a mug, and then like the person whose logo it is gets $1.50.
$1.50 is generous.
Yeah, then like the U.S. Postal Service gets like $2.50, and Spreadshirt gets $15.50. So
yeah, it's a bit ridiculous how much you make out of that, which is why I like Teespring a lot, because I
gotta say, Teespring, aside from the shit I just complained about, have been nothing but great with me. They've been really friendly. They've been open to talk about anything I want immediately. The splits are great. Like, everything about them is good except for the couple of things that I just had problems with. So I'm not going super hard on saying they're bad. I just think I really want them to sort that stuff out soon.
That's understandable. Makes sense. Well, I am definitely interested to move stores. So we went from the Twitch retrospective to where I want to sell my shirts, basically.
Yeah. Twitch is doing okay, it seems.
Yeah.
The end.
The next thing I guess we could talk about, who's maybe not doing okay, is The Binding of Isaac. They are. Well, I mean, they're doing all right, but
they're all multimillionaires.
That's true. But they're trying to get their game on iOS, and it was rejected for child violence,
child harm,
child harm,
religious.
And then I watched Tyrone go on a tweet spree of many different games on the iOS that have a lot of child violence in it. And of course, I think I have never had experience with them, but I'm pretty sure the Apple is really just kind of a dick to get a hold of. Like, they're really hard to communicate with, much like YouTube or Google in general. So it sucks because I feel like Isaac would be a great mobile game. It's not that hard to control. You could do iPad. I don't know phone, but iPad, tablet. Yes, Mike? You're deep in
thought. I was just thinking without the physical control input, how that would actually feel on something like an iPad. I mean, they said they didn't want to do it if it didn't work, so I kind of have faith that they've made it feel comfortable. But I don't know. I feel like it's more to reach a different market than to be like, hey, existing Isaac fans, now you can play it on the go. You can already play it on the PS Vita or the 3DS, and the controls are probably a little more similar there to computer and whatever people might be used to playing than if somebody went from the computer to an iPad. I don't know. I feel like it would almost control completely differently.
My guess would be they have a virtual D-pad.
I saw the screenshot.
Yeah,
it was like an overlay of a silhouette of a D-pad on both sides, and then there was a couple of touch buttons in the center for cards and pills. So, I mean, as far as that control scheme could go, unless you're using a Bluetooth controller, I don't think it could get much better than that.
Yeah.
But the best that it could be is not very good. I'm not a huge fan of touch screen gaming. It just usually doesn't work very well, especially for dexterity Twitch kind of gaming.
Yeah, I agree. But what do you think about them getting rejected from the App Store?
That's just their prerogative. I mean, it sucks, but they they're total hypocrites when it comes to a lot of things. I don't see why it would change for them.
Yeah.
You have to look at, for Apple, what's the gain for them, right? I mean, they're a very well established everything or whatever. I don't know,
Company.
Company. Yeah. And they make a ton of money from iTunes and all this other stuff, and the existing games, Angry Birds and all that stuff, and First Strike, whatever these pay to play games are, or not pay to play, pay to win. Premium, that's the one. So like from something like Isaac, yeah, they'll make some money, but is it worth upsetting people that are just hardcore, like, oh, I can't believe, you're killing this kid, though, look at all this religious content and blah, 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 like, this is an abomination. Like, it might have a negative effect. I mean, to an extent it will, but...
I don't know, you could make the argument that we're sort of desensitized to Isaac because we look at it for hours and hours and maybe on fresh
we only
eyes,
have a few hundred hours each into it at least.
Playing as a baby, getting impaled with spikes and shooting poop and all that kind of shit, satanic imagery maybe is not tasteful for some. I honestly don't care, but I have a bit different sensibilities than a lot of people do.
Yeah.
True.
I imagine it'll probably get sorted. Like,
Yeah.
Think so?
yeah, I mean, I think so. Like, Papers, Please had an issue that was similar, but not
Yes.
quite as essential, I guess. Like, in Papers,
Right.
Please, you could scan people, basically make them nude to look for hidden weapons and stuff. I can't remember how that resolved.
Did they? I wonder if they censored it or something.
I think there might have been that, or there might have been like the default option was like nudity off or something like that, and then, but it ended up on the App Store. Like, they worked together with Apple to make it happen. I don't know what you do to Isaac to
Yeah, there's
To
nothing to change.
change it, unless
I mean,
you just
yeah.
on the
Integral to
opening
concept.
cutscene just make Isaac like an 18-year-old
That would be great.
small
Just give them
man.
a goatee, problem solved.
Yeah, and then it's not child child
And then every
violence anymore.
every religious item, you just change it.
Oh yeah, I guess there are religious themes.
What would you, Abaddon to Autobahn or something? Like,
Autobahn.
The Autobahn.
They were teasing changing the Christian themes to Scientology themes so that way more or less people would get angry.
you get in even bigger trouble. Like,
Yeah,
the,
with them in particular,
they-
perhaps.
They'd sue
Start
the
getting
shit out of
kidnapped.
you. You can start getting kidnapped as Tyrone goes missing one day.
Is it an ARG or is reality?
I know,
really this
right?
corrupt?
What does it mean? What time did it disappear?
There's just a keeper statue where his bed was.
The Scientology statue, Nick. Come on. Let's unlock a new Scientology item in the game. Only iOS.
Or maybe it won't end up on iOS, in which case I feel bad for the team. But, I mean, contrary to what you guys have said, I think Isaac would control pretty shitty on iPad. Like,
I think so too.
Contrary, I agree with you.
I think it'll be. I think that's all we said is it would be functional. Like it would
yeah.
work.
I said its best possibility is that it's still pretty bad.
yeah, I agree with that. Like, for fine control, I think it's just going to be I don't think it would be good. But I also trust that they would only put it on there if it was at least okay. But I don't know. I mean, I guess it doesn't have much personal effect on us.
Right.
I also feel like it doesn't have much personal effect on anybody but the team, because either, like, the people who know Isaac, they already own a device that they can play it on.
Or they'd own it on multiple devices.
Exactly. Like, everyone, almost everybody that would own an iPhone or an iPad also has a, OS X laptop or a Windows laptop, at least, or a desktop, or, a Vita or a 3DS,
Yeah,
or
that's
a,
true.
a PS4 or something. So I feel like maybe it was an opportunity for the team to make some extra money without, really, I don't want to say doing a lot of work, but like it's maybe a missed opportunity financially for them. But apart from that, I just I don't know. It doesn't affect me that much, unfortunately.
No, it doesn't really affect us. But I just found it interesting that I guess the thing I found interesting was and like you said, it's not the first example of this happening, but all the other games out there that have child violence that are. I mean, if they rejected them on the grounds of only child violence, I think it's a little dumb. But if it was like, religious imagery and all this other
What
stuff,
about,
like,
like,
well,
the Biden
yeah.
What
it
about
makes
Limbo?
sense.
You're a little kid.
Is Limbo
Yeah.
on iOS?
Oh yeah, baby.
Oh, I don't know. Limbo's a
Or
lot
maybe
more
not
graphic
iOS,
in its deaths.
It's certainly on the OS X App Store, but I mean, I don't see why the general content guidelines would be any different. It might be on iPad
Limbo's
though.
pretty viscerally violent.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
really
there's
violent.
several instances where you'll get stabbed through the head and then your torso ripped off your body or your off your neck.
But it's all black and white, man. You don't know. You don't know what it could be.
They may have just said this is too much of a liability. There's too much religious imagery. We don't want to deal with the fallout. We don't want to deal with the negativity. Let's just say we don't want to do it for this reason, and they can fight us if they want, but they don't have control, so they can't. Could be that simple.
Unfortunate. Yeah, nothing we can really do about it, but I found it interesting.
Yeah, like I'm not pro censorship on content grounds. I'm just saying, like, I understand where Apple's coming from. Unfortunately, I think it's
Look,
stupid.
if Nintendo can let it on their console.
That's
That almost
kind of the
didn't
funny
happen.
part.
I
The
mean,
bigger issue is that it doesn't really work very well on the 3DS, right? Like, it's super
Didn't it have like
stuttery and
massive
broken.
crash problems?
I've played it. My brother, so I got him like a year ago into Rebirth after a lot of time, and then he got hooked, like straight up hooked. We'd be visiting, and he'd be playing it on his PS Vita, and he actually sold his PS Vita largely because he was just playing too much Rebirth. It was just too easy. Anyways, a few months later, he ended up buying a 3DS, and he inevitably got Rebirth. He's okay. He's doing fine now. Like he's But anyways, we were at my grandma's a few months back, and I was playing it there, and I think I was on like basement 2 or like maybe the 3 or 4 levels in at the most.
Right.
And it was chugging a little bit, very framey and stuff. And I didn't have a lot of crazy synergies or a lot of familiars or anything like that. So I can only imagine when you get into more of the game breaking runs, you're just doing undefined over and over again, or like a basement seed. I don't know how it would fare on that. I didn't think that
a lot of the Vita and the I've heard the 3DS version's real bad, and then the Vita version, I mean, the Vita's a lot more powerful than the 3DS, and the Vita version chugs sometimes, so just kind of put 2 and 2 together.
Afterbirth isn't on anything else other than PC, right?
I don't think so. No.
Maybe
Mac.
OS X. Yeah.
All right, yeah. So it's just on Mac and PC, because I know that there are broken runs even on PC that can crash your game.
That is like
It's extreme, but it can happen.
right. Yeah, you're never gonna get that out of the game.
But
when you got,
but I'm saying like
outliers,
it's,
man.
but it can happen as what the point I was trying to make is that it can happen on PC. If it can happen on PC, even extreme, combos, I feel like it takes a lot less to crash a 3DS and a Vita. Even if you're saying it like Caves 1, it's chugging. Imagine if you get a really crazy powerful run. I mean, you had a run not too long ago, Ryan, didn't you, where your bombs were exploding into more bombs, which were exploding to all kinds of stuff. I mean, that would probably destroy like a 3DS.
I don't know why. I don't know why the runs crash. Maybe it's a memory issue and that would affect it, but I don't know.
I've seen the runs not crash through things that I would have said they should crash, so I'm pretty impressed on PC that it holds up as well as it does.
I'm wondering why. I mean, maybe you guys know more about this, but they haven't obviously gone Afterbirth to the PS Vita or the 3DS. Like, what's the reason? Like, I mean, if the game is already kind of having trouble, it's not like, there are more items and stuff like that for sure, and more bosses, events, things like that, but they're not all there at the same time, right? You still get items one by one. So is there like some other reason why we haven't seen it that you guys know of, or
could be how their distribution system works, how the DLC hooks together with the other one.
Yeah,
all I know is that
I don't know, it's all
Tyrone
speculation.
and Ed just keep tweeting like, "Stop asking me." So, like, I'm assuming it's something that's beyond like, we just don't want to make it right now. Like, I'm assuming there's something else going on. Maybe I'm not even going to speculate. I just have no idea, basically.
It could just be a memory constraint or something, even.
Yeah, but that was the thing I didn't quite understand, because the premise of the game is you start with nothing and you get this item and whatever. So by adding more items to the game pool, I mean, it just adds the for the event to draw from more items, right? It's not actually taking 500 items and putting them on the screen at one time.
One of the big things they changed in Afterbirth was a ton more synergies. So items act in weirder ways and can fill the screen a lot faster.
That's true. That is true, yeah.
So, and there's more transformations that also add to like weird effects and all that stuff.
And more screen filling effects like burning basement, flooded caves, which are possibly more shader heavy. I don't know.
I mean, that was what tanked the frame rate for Spelunky on Vita. Was like whenever you got what is it? Like it smells. There's a strange smell down here. Is that the one?
The Yeti one?
Yeah, well, the snow levels gave you that.
Yeah,
but then,
smell
wet fur. Yeah, the snow levels gave you that, but also whenever you had like the haze in front, I guess that's just on Hell. Mm-hmm. You have like the weird haze in front, that would tank it a little bit.
Transparency layers will do that, yeah.
Yeah, so it was, I mean, they're not, I guess it's always deceptive how resource intense a game like that is. And then in Isaac, especially if you have that like filter over the top, and then every time you tap a button, you're spawning like 30 shots. Yeah. Or like Matt is saying, like sad bombs that explode into scatter bombs that then hit you and cause Curse of the Tower to go off that starts the chain all over again. Like
becomes unplayable. Yeah,
it becomes a fucking mess. Yeah, so I can see how that wouldn't really go over well on like a handheld or something.
But at the same time, I wish that they were more open about it, about what's happening.
Oh, just say it, yeah.
But this is a common issue that I don't even think, even if they were listening, they wouldn't take issue with. Nicholas has a bit of a combative PR stance with their community, and that's the way they like to do it, which is, you've made your bed, now lie in it, and, stuff your pillow with dollar bills. But still, like, the reason that people are kind of mad about the iOS thing is because it's perceived that maybe they're making the iOS version as a cash-in instead of working on the PS4, the new 3DS DLC, like the Afterbirth stuff coming to there, which is probably not actually how it's going. But because the communication is often like so minimal coming out of Nicholas and Tyrone, people form like their own conclusions in their heads, and then
look at the whole people form their own conclusions. Look at the mess that the Keeper was on the subreddit. People had all these things like what they were doing wrong and whatever, and they're not like almost none of them were right.
Yeah, but when is Mugenics coming out?
They hiatused.
Yeah, they permanent hiatused it. Just tweet at him. I'm sure he'll answer your question. Just tweet.
This is the way that they want to do their communication strategy, but it would be really nice if they just were like, "This is why it's not coming." It doesn't even bother me, but it would solve so much of the like community aggression if it was just like an open line of communication.
It's like in Moneyball when Brad Pitt is talking, or Billy Bean is talking to Jonah Hill's character, and
wait, the real life Billy Bean is talking to Jonah Hill, the
actor. They're talking about cutting players or like breaking the news on we're moving you to the Detroit Tigers or whoever, and he's like, would you rather 1 bullet to the head or 5 to the chest and slowly bleed out? It's like, I feel like Nicholas should just do that. Like, put people out of their misery. Right. They'll respect it a little bit more and move on with their life rather than tweeting at you every other day. Like, come on. Like, what's the news? What's the news?
What a peculiar metaphor.
We're not on the other side, but I can't imagine what they keep saying, like, we can't tell you why, but as soon as we know, we'll tell you. I'm like, man, that makes people think it's really bad. If it's just like we're having some problems like optimizing it or getting it to work, you can say that. People are like, okay, I get it. It takes time. But it's just like a complete lack of communication, except for saying like, don't ask us, makes you think like, oh, is it being rejected by like content concerns, or can it like they actually just can't get it to run, or it's never coming, or Sony won't approve it or something like that. Like, the best PR strategy most of the time is just to be like, we're sorry, here's what's happening. Wow.
People want nowadays people want transparency.
Yeah.
They will tweet these kind of weird cryptic ones that are like showing a thing of here's Isaac running on something, no context and no explanation and no replies.
Yep, that happens a lot.
So it's like you're spawning controversy, but then not addressing it, then being angry that there's controversy. That seems like a kind of a catch-22 of negativity.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they run their PR.
It's a great book.
At the same time, like, I think Tyrone is an adult and knows that, and I think he likes it, which is again more power to you. Like
you have to like it.
They're making money hand over fist, but at the same time, I'm like, man, I hope you're having fun with it, because you're annoying a lot of people. Not necessarily me, but a lot of people. And there's no reason that the Isaac community has to feel like it's Tyrone and Ed against the community. Like, you know, they feed off of one another. Like the community feels like Ed and Tyrone are dismissive or even rude sometimes. Ed and Tyrone get 1,000 tweets that are angry about it. They get pissed off about it. They become more rude and dismissive, and then
Vicious cycle.
Ed goes back and forth. Like, he goes from like rude and dismissive, and then he'll post like long like apology blogs. I feel like he kind of goes back and forth with the community. But Tyrone is always very he likes to antagonize. He likes to poke.
I think we all get that too. Like,
yeah.
You know, there are times that I'm like, man, I read like one shitty comment
Oh,
today.
yeah.
And
Oh,
I'm
of
off.
course.
Like, that's it. And then there's days where you're like, you guys are the best, you know? Like, it cuts both ways, but you can definitely do things to make it better or minimize it.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Well, maybe we'll see Isaac on iOS if it gets cleared. Maybe we won't. Who knows? Like you said, it doesn't really affect us all that much, but it's interesting that they got denied. Last thing I want to talk about before we get into Firewatch is something that I don't know if anybody has ever played, is Destiny.
I played it.
It's like 600 or 700 million people.
No, I meant out of the four of us, Ryan. Out of the four of us. So Destiny is getting one full expansion, but something I didn't expect, at least this quickly, is it's getting a full-on Destiny 2 next year.
Wait, it's EA, right?
Right, I think it's EA. I thought it was Ubisoft initially, but I think it's EA.
Activision.
I thought it was Blizzard. Well, same company.
It's a 2K game, Matt.
It's a 2K game, gotcha.
But it's actually Activision.
Yeah.
I find it interesting that they're actually already announcing a Destiny 2. They're announcing a full expansion for Destiny 1, and they're like, oh, also Destiny 2 next year. The reason I find that interesting is because Destiny is very much an MMO that you're supposed to sink time, and they can just build expansion after expansion after expansion, just kind of milk
is the
you.
Fourth expansion.
Yeah.
They've already milked.
Yeah. So
Look at WoW. WoW has milked much harder than that.
Is it a completely new engine or like what?
I don't think there's any really news on it, but I feel like Destiny isn't even that old, and for a game that is supposed to be like an MMO and have this lasting presence, I personally feel like that Destiny 2 is maybe a little early. I'm wondering if it's like they were just like Destiny 1 didn't do as well as we wanted it to. Maybe Destiny 2 will be everything that we were hoping it was going to be.
Could it be? I mean, kind of reaching back to earlier, you know, how every year there's a new Call of Duty, there's a new online shooter, whatever like that. Is this more of a? It's kind of like a way to refresh and recharge and get people thinking about it again or whatever. It's not like necessarily Destiny 1 is bad, but like just doing another expansion is not going to get quite as much attention as being like Destiny 2 or whatever.
But do you think announcing Destiny 2 is going to hurt expansion sales?
I don't know.
I think
play
so.
MMOs,
It's not out now.
Dude, people are going nuts over Destiny still. Like,
that's another reason I think it's early for a Destiny 2.
But I mean, like, it's the start of 2016. We're a year and a half from the launch of Destiny. It could be almost 2 years until the launch of Destiny 2 if it actually comes out like holiday season.
Holiday, that's true.
So we might only be like halfway to the next Destiny. But I don't know, maybe it comes out in March, in which case it's pretty soon. But like, there are so many people who still, like, what they do is they just get home from work, play like 4 hours of Destiny, and then that's their game. That's like, you know, their Borderlands or their Call of Duty or something like that, or their WoW now. And people love it. People have been like, the expansions apparently have made the game a lot better. And a lot of the scuttlebutt that I saw are people are like, I wish Destiny 2 was actually coming out sooner, because I don't think the expansions are going to be able to keep the game relevant. This is not me speaking. It's just stuff I've seen on Twitter. Like, I don't think the expansions are going to be able to keep the game fresh long enough for it. But
I'd be interested to see what it's... I guess I'm of two minds. Like, I'm excited to see what they're going to do with Destiny 2, because I played a little bit of Destiny, and I played a lot of Warframe, and Destiny comes off as a lot... Like, Warframe is Destiny in a weird way. It's just like, you have your ship, there's like a hub area, you go to planets with friends, you shoot things mindlessly, and then you go back. And, I mean, it's enjoyable. I enjoy that. Not saying mindlessly in a bad way. So, what is going to be the step in Destiny 2 that's going to be like, oh shit, I need to pick up Destiny 2. That's not already part of Destiny 1.
If it exists, people will buy it. I think that's all. The name with a number 2 after it is probably good enough.
Put it on PC.
Put it on PC would be awesome. I would probably jump on board hardcore if it was on PC. Because I played a lot of Warframe over the past couple of months, and I didn't think I was going to enjoy that game, because I remember playing it back when it had initially come out, and I was like, it's fun. But then you play with friends, and it becomes a lot more enjoyable. So if Destiny 2 is more Destiny 1, I guess, but they bring it to PC, I'd probably jump on that. I guess my fear was just like Destiny is treated as an MMO, and they're already announcing a second one like a year and a half after launch. Destiny, the game that was supposed to change the way that you look at first-person shooters.
Like, how long has World of Warcraft been going? They've
11
got, like, 10
years.
expansions?
11 years. So a long time.
I don't. You said I don't play MMOs.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know the premise of Destiny. There's guns and stuff and space involved, whatever. But I mean, you said it's like you get on ships and you go to planets with friends. Like, it's kind of similar-ish to Star Citizen and stuff like that. Is it maybe like?
Well, I mean, like you don't get to like fly around space in Destiny. Like your ship just.
So maybe that's
all
what
window
Destiny 2 is
dressing.
going to do.
Like
Maybe.
95% of the game is window dressing, and the rest of it is a corridor with Halo stuff going on in it.
Right. that really is what it is.
It's like persistent Borderlands.
Yeah, exactly.
I watched Kate play a bunch of it, and I was like, this is like well, I mean, Borderlands is already sci-fi. This is like Halo Borderlands.
That's exactly what
It's
it is.
sci-fi with this air of like haughty, pseudo-philosophical. We're really grandiose and awesome, but reality is you're just shooting stuff for a while.
What
It's
is
like
kind of
armor.
cool about it is they do have like I don't even know what you call them, like universal events. Like they have events in the game, and people like have to cooperate, not only getting in parties for like strikes and stuff like that, but also they'll be like, hey, check out Zur at the top of the tower. He's got like a special weapon right now, and then people are like posting like pictures of this special unique weapon that they got, and they're like, oh my god, this is so amazing for my. And I'm like, I get it, yeah.
Yeah, Warframe does the same thing. Warframe has like void shops that will randomly spawn every so often within the world. Has events like one guy, like one enemy that'll be on a planet and he'll move from planet to planet, and you try to capture him or kill him before he goes to the next place. It's actually kind of remarkable how similar Warframe and Destiny are. When I played Warframe, I guess the thing with Warframe though is like it's free to play, but you can sink a lot of money into that game. Pretty heavily, but I don't know. Destiny 2, if it's PC, I could probably jump on board. What are you laughing at?
The comment that just said Fox is gay for sure. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just
Nothing wrong with it.
The way it just came out with no like
Like no cap
no
or anything.
finesse on it. Just like,
It's funny. I have been hit on a fair amount of guys in my past. It's just a thing I've had to deal with.
Definitely
I
not
don't
the
know.
guy you told to stop eating his fucking sandwich in his car, though.
Listen, it was mashed potatoes, and he was in there at a busy intersection with his whole family, and it's just like, come on, go home to your dinner table and eat there, you madman.
That might be his dinner table.
that might be his house.
Oh, come on, he was driving an Audi. Don't.
I didn't remember that.
It's better than driving an innie. How would you do that? It doesn't make any sense.
Wow, humble
Anyways.
brag being hit. Whatever. Well, that's the Destiny 2 news. It's been a week for news. It
I
has.
don't know. I think it's been not to always be the guy who takes an issue with everything you say, but like I thought it was no Assassin's Creed this year, Destiny 2.
We talked about that already. Like a few weeks ago, no Assassin's Creed.
They just announced it this week. I thought.
They had an official letter that was like, here's our explanation of why.
Oh, the stream died.
Stream's
But they had
dead.
already announced it, I believe.
I haven't dropped any frames.
Oh, it came back on.
Fine. Just here, have a really hard time editing this. Enjoy here.
It hasn't stopped on my end.
Okay, good.
Apparently, me being not actually gay broke it.
Sugar gay.
God damn. Well, we can talk about Firewatch now. I've played an hour. I don't care
I
if you
played all of it.
I don't care if you spoil it personally. Like I don't care.
I don't want it
You
spoiled
shouldn't
personally,
spoil it.
but I don't want
No.
it spoiled more for chat because
It's been out for 3 days.
That's true.
Is that
I all I can say is that the one thing I've walked away from so far with the game is that it's really pretty. Like it's very simplistic, and the voice acting is fucking incredible.
well, it's what's his face from Mad Men.
John Hamm.
I've never seen it.
How do we set up the game? We have
he's-
this habit of just jumping right into like the rest of the story without actually explaining what it even
Story
is.
is a man. They kind of give you like this like It's not really interactive, but like kind of this interactive text prequel to why you're
Choose
working
your
this
own
job.
adventure.
Kind of,
mini
yeah.
hike.
about this man who marries this woman. He seems to maybe have an alcohol problem. And through the years, his wife gets early onset dementia. Eventually, she gets taken away from his care. And,
no, not taken away necessarily.
You
make the decision.
Okay. Well, she got taken away. I tried to take care of her and mine, and her parents took her away from me.
Okay.
Yeah, no, there's no branching paths. That's one of my problems. It all leads back to the same thing.
So she gets taken away, and you promise to visit. It doesn't seem like you ever visit, and then eventually you pick up this job that was posted as a Firewatch guy in this park. And the game then picks up with you on your first day doing, your typical walking around the park, trying to stop kids setting off fireworks and all kinds of stuff. And from my understanding, as time goes on, stuff gets weird and creepy.
Mm-hmm. There's a creepy guy.
I haven't gotten that far yet. I've just gotten I said the voice acting is incredible. Like it is really, really well done. And graphically, the game is very pretty. That is what I've gotten away from it. I think gameplay wise, it is just a story game, like walking around and interacting with things to tell the next.
Very kind of minimal interaction, and there's a lot of stuff there that's there to kind of help. You okay there?
I'm fine. I'm good. This is all the crack.
I thought it was meth, but there's things there that kind of help build it, make it seem more like a realistic world, but they don't really. I mean, there's some books and stuff like that you can pick up and look at, but you don't read them. They don't really have any effect on the gameplay that I've seen, at least.
So the primary function of the game, in addition to walking around and looking at things, is you have a sort of relationship in either a friendly or maybe more way with this woman, Delilah, who is your supervisor working at the higher Firewatch tower. She's in charge of all the Firewatchers in other towers. And she's your one lifeline. She's the only person you see or talk to or deal with, I should say, because you don't really see her. And basically everything you see in the environment, there'll be a prompt that you can say, okay, report this to Delilah. And you bring up your radio, you say what's going on, and then she will say something back to you, and then you have an option of one of 3 dialogue choices. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what prompts the forward progression through the game. It's really not about so much what's going on in the world as what's going on in your head and what's going on with you and Delilah interpersonally.
Yeah.
And that's where the game really shines, because the main focus is the voice acting and the visual presentation. The two of them do tie very well together. Mm-hmm. And I think the real meat of the discussion, which unfortunately we're not going to probably have this week, maybe we'll have it another time, is kind of about where the story goes and whether or not the writing is there to back up the rest of it. And I think there's some controversy there perhaps, but we can stoke that fire for another day. If you're taking it on face value, it's a very interesting experience for what it is, but don't expect it to be much more than like a Dear Esther type scenario.
Right.
I mean, there's some walking, there's some talking, there's not much game. It's walking and talking.
I'm about 2.5, 3 hours in, and it just got too late for me to finish it last night before bed or before the show today. So I'm going to finish it probably as soon as the show ends. So I can't say like my final thoughts, especially because I hear that the last hour or so is very divisive.
Yeah.
A lot of people like predominantly negative about the last hour.
I've heard nothing but like people are just disappointed with how it ended.
But the first 2.5, 3 hours, I've been having a great time with. It is a walking simulator, but it is a glorified walking simulator in what I think is a good way. There's like the gameplay is mostly just pathfinding, using your map to try to find the actual path you're going to take. The rest of it is just kind of being there in the environment. But hey, Tomo, what's up, buddy?
Tomo!
It looks beautiful. Flat out, I was like, when I was talking to Fox today, I was like, I think this and The Witness can stake like a pretty good claim at being some of the most visually beautiful games of all time.
They're very similar too in their visual. They're kind of simple-ish, geometric and stuff like that. But I mean, it's because of that simplicity and it's done so well. Like that's what makes it really beautiful. And obviously the vibrant colors and the sunsets and that's very beautiful. You add in Tomb Raider. A very gorgeous game as well.
It really is.
Very good lighting and just it's a good year for visuals, at least we can say so far.
And I don't know, like if you guys have gotten into it, but I have like a veneer of kind of not cynicism, but like you gotta impress me in like a walking simulator because stuff like I know Nick, you really like Fracked. I played like an hour and a half of Fracked, and I was like, I guess it's more a puzzle game than a walking simulator, but I was like, it's not doing it for me. I'm out. And I played some other games like that. There was Montague's Mount was kind of similar. I was like, this is kind of not very good. But this one, I'm into it. I'm carrying around that disposable camera, and I'm like, I've only got like 8 pictures left in it. I better make sure that I actually use them to take some beautiful pictures. I hope at the end there's like a reel of the pictures that I took, so
you can
revisit my run.
I think it was Steel Gamer was saying because I've been putting episodes up on YouTube, and he said you can actually send in, and they will print them out on like a Polaroid thingy and a picture and send them to you.
You have to pay for that though, right? Like how much?
Yeah, you could also like take a screenshot of your monitor and print it out.
I mean, it's not the same, man. It's the tactile nature of the camera.
Sure.
And also
get a Polaroid and take a picture of your monitor.
Without spoiling it, there is good. It's not boring. Is what I'll say
tension.
about it. Yes, there's tension in it. It's not a walking simulator where you walk to a tree and then you pick up a note and they're like, Jennifer left me last week. I've been feeling so sad, and then you're like, I don't know anything about what's happening. There's like there's danger and tension and a general feel of unease. Like there's times where the game will make you feel very uncomfortable in a good way.
Vulnerable.
But yeah, vulnerable, I think, is another good way to put it. And I've actually enjoyed it a lot so far. I may sour a little bit depending on how the ending hits me, but as of right now, I'm like, even if it's horrible, I'll still be like, I mostly had a really good time with Firewatch.
That's where I fall to, yeah.
When I played it, I didn't alt-tab for like 2.5 hours. I alt-tab all the time. I've alt-tabbed like 8 times during this podcast. But when I was playing Firewatch...
You mean I was you don't have the podcast just up and just in your face the whole time?
Sometimes, but maybe not. Depends on who's hosting.
Hey, look.
I kid.
I'm sorry, man. But, technical difficulties today.
I had some hesitancy to play it because I have like a barrier to entry for walking sims sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I played it, and I'm excited to finish it today. But I do wish I finished it in a single sitting.
Me too.
Also, sometimes I wish it was more walking simulator-y, because there would be like a big narrative turning point, and then I'm like, I don't know where to go.
Oh, yeah.
I can't figure out where to go on my map.
You gotta pull out your compass.
Well,
It's got a very slight Metroidvania bent to it, too. Like, over the course of the game, there's a couple of items you'll come across that then open up new trails that let you go a place you couldn't go. And they do that to sort of put progress gates that you can't accidentally get super lost and then confused about where you're supposed to go. I mean, they do a good job of telling you where you're meant to go, and you always have a map, and you can turn on or off this little marker that shows you where you are with a little line behind it. Just in general, though, like, the gameplay, I wanted to clarify that it is sort of, and I know people see this as a negative, but when we say walking simulator, it's a type of game where you get a little confused when you see it in still screenshots. What kind of game is this? You might think this is a survival game at face value, but it's not.
I did initially when the announcement came out. I was like, oh, am I like lost in a park and I have to start chopping down trees?
There's preconceptions because we're getting so used to seeing so many games where you're out in nature now. All of a sudden, when you're out in nature, it means you're building shelters and fending off zombies. That's not what this is.
There's no zombie twist?
It's a human story.
If you want, a survival with non-zombies, go play The Long Dark.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Forest.
Yeah, no, The Long Dark is also really good.
Long Dark is incredible. Yeah,
it's a beautiful game as well. Yeah. A slightly more... I guess like a grainy-ish kind of texture, but again, it's still kind of simple, really beautiful, and that's more of a survival kind of thing. This is definitely not survival.
It's a narrative.
Yeah. Although, Long Dark is going to have some narrative stuff added in, I think.
On launch, It's
soon this year, so, but, I don't know.
Yeah. I'll try and... I want to finish Firewatch by, like, tomorrow. I wanted to get it done this morning. I just didn't have time.
It gets, like, again, without spoiling it, the first, as you were telling me last night, you were right, Mike, the first couple of segments are kind of linear and discrete, I guess, self-contained stuff. Yeah. It starts doing some narrative jumping, maybe. Mm-hmm. Not like back and forth in timeline, just like... You're not spending a week in the life of the fire.
The scope gets larger.
Yes, well, it's like day 1, day 2, day 3, then like day 9 or whatever, and then you skip forward a couple more months, which is fine too, because it's a shorter game, right? And they're trying to develop the narrative and stuff. So it's
throughout a whole summer.
It's
which
interesting.
You don't want to play 70 days of it.
Yeah. So you wake up after a month, and then you're communicating on the walkie-talkie, and then just kind of like, oh, like what has gone down in the past month or whatever, juicy stuff. So I think it's a good way to handle it.
There should be like how Discourse had like the endless mode. There should be that in Firewatch, where it's like day 91. You freaking teenagers with your beer cans and your fireworks, get out of here.
You know how it would end up?
There'd be
like 6 procedural options, and then it would be like, okay, so the teens are at the beach again. Now I go clear the fireworks, go back to the tower, wait.
That would be great.
I just gotta ask. I don't think this is really spoilery. What'd you do with the boombox?
Oh, I tried to take it with me all the way back.
You didn't throw it in the water?
Accused me of stealing it, and I didn't steal it. I picked it up when I happened to be talking to her, and she thought it meant I was stealing it. I put it back after when I didn't get credit.
I threw it in the water.
To try to kill someone?
They're like 100 meters away.
Yeah, you can throw them pretty far.
It definitely has like a different reaction, whatever. Well, yeah, reaction when they see like throw it in.
But the story itself does not branch, correct?
No. Apparently, I peeped the subreddit a little bit.
2 to 3 lines.
Yeah, there's a few lines you can kind of go into.
Okay.
I mean, like, I haven't seen how it ties up, but there have been some conversations where you're like, okay, this is going to be like, this has to come back. And there's also some times where you will find stuff in the game that has been influenced by the conversations that you had early. Okay. Not in the sense like you'll find like an area that didn't exist, but there'll be like minor.
Well, right, that actually happens right away, depending on how you decide to pose.
Yes.
Then you get your little dingle showing.
Yes, that is true.
They literally ask you questions, and I believe this is to sort of reinforce the idea that the player decisions are going to matter, and I think they sort of use it a bit as a smokescreen to show you early in the game, look, you made this decision, there it is. So then you'll think later on, oh, if I make that decision, well, will it be there? And it isn't usually.
You guys all chose to pose like a Playboy model?
Yeah, my little dangle was hanging there.
Yeah, I did He-Man as well.
No way, man. I frolicked. I frolicked like a Victoria's Secret model.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to put a little mosaic over it. or a big mosaic in my case, sorry.
I wasn't ready for the penis, but
it was there.
I think it's, as far as walking simulators go, it is longer than average. Like, it's at least twice as long as Gone Home, roughly. And is it replayable? I would say I probably wouldn't care to replay it again, even regardless of knowing how the ending works.
I know I won't be replaying it.
But I think for $20, yeah. I mean, if you're into that kind of game, absolutely. It's been the first game like this that has hit me in a while, probably in like the last 2 or 3 years, 2.5, I guess.
What?
Don't worry
I'm for it, but I want to have a discussion about the ending after you've all finished it.
That was a mistake.
Yeah, it should be done soon too. But I think it's one of those games that's very similar to like The Witness in terms of going in a bit of a different direction.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Bit of a different direction. It's a very beautiful game in its own right, and it's doing some cool stuff. So like some people might be like, oh, I don't want to justify buying or whatever, but I think it's still a very good game to support, to have, the industry pumping out this type of stuff and not going with the easy games to sell all the time. I mean, I think I'm not a developer or publisher, but I mean, obviously there's certain things out there you could be like, well, we could just do this and probably double our money if we had this and this and this in the game or whatever. So I think it takes a bit of courage for them to kind of keep it, again, without having finished it, keep it relatively simple and concentrated like it is. So yeah, kudos.
I would agree. Reward the risks that they take so we don't have to be forced to play the same concepts every single time.
This was a Kickstarter, we said, right? We did talk about that?
Mention
it. I think it was. So. I think it was Kickstarted. I think it was a successful Kickstarter.
Was it?
I thought it was. I thought I heard somebody talking about that.
No, I would have kicked it.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
That's true. This guy will kick anything.
The Long Dark was.
I know Long Dark was. I thought this was as well. I'm mistaken, apparently. Somebody said that, but I'm wrong.
Freaking liar.
Yeah,
I am. I am.
See in the world.
That's how it works. Well, I'm even if the ending is not that great, you guys all recommend the game, so I'm excited to finish it either way. So if you can go check it out right now, it is $19.99 on Steam, I believe, currently. My Steam is down, so I can't check.
It is.
What is? Are you okay?
Unless
man?
it's on sale.
No, no. The technical difficulties have fucked up my whole day. It's all messed up. It's all fucked. Everything's fucked. But that's okay. And that'll wrap up all the topics that we have to discuss today. No, it's not. It's not okay. That'll wrap up our topics to discuss today. We will now move over to the Ask Roundtable, everybody's favorite section. I can't without Bear, but... And today's question comes from Jeremy. Jeremy says, hello all. I'm kind of a new listener, so this might have been asked before. A lot of new books are coming out of where people get trapped full immersion in video games, like Alter World, and to a lesser extent, Ready Player One. So if we had the choice to be trapped fully in a game, what game would it be? Remember, you'd be there for a while.
Easy.
Jeremy spoken.
All right. Since you're singing, Ryan, you get to choose
Rock
first.
Band 4.
You say Rock Band 4?
4. You're here forever. You got to play these songs.
Why is that a bullshit answer? I'm okay.
Oh, I thought I actually assumed that was a bullshit answer.
You think I'm gonna go live in Pokemon, fucking fight pincers all day and scythers, like literal demons from hell that could chop off my head with one fell swoop of their hind wings?
I think I'd be more scared of Beedrill, to be honest.
Yeah, dude, freaking everyone's already scared of bees, and then you got like 6 feet wide bees with huge stingers on them.
Isn't a stinger like made of metal? No, I don't.
Well,
metal.
So you're gonna be so is Rock Band 4 your final answer?
Why not? I mean, it's a boring answer, but it's a safe way out.
Man.
I'm a boring dude. I'd be in like Second Life, and I'd be like,
I'm surprised you didn't choose like Let's Play Simulator. That exists.
Yeah,
you'd be like Dwight Schrute on The Office. Second Life within Second Life. You would have like.
I'm just gonna open up like a rug shop in Second Life, and then there will be like a 8-foot tall demon having sexual intercourse with like a little tiny like 6-inch long fairy, and I'll just be like, there goes the neighborhood. Buy my rugs.
All right, Nick, what about you?
I think I'm gonna steal Fox's answer, but we can both elaborate on it. But I have Minecraft. I think I've said this even before. The idea that I could have autonomy. Oh, it wasn't your answer. No. Be able to build my own house, my own mansion as I see fit. It's very easy to overcome the dangers in that game after just a day or two, and all of a sudden you find yourself basically safe. And then it's just up to you to create your beautiful life that you want to lead.
Yeah, man.
You can
no
adventure when
problem. First day in your new life, dig a hole in the ground, seal yourself up so the zombies don't eat you or the.
It's
explode.
one bad day for a lifetime of amazing shit.
Hey, everybody, quick apology, as due to some technical difficulties, the last 10 to 15 minutes of this podcast audio was unusable. So, this is my apology. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next week, as always, with a brand new Roundtable Podcast live. Feel free to check us out at patreon.com/roundtable, reddit.com/roundtable, and all the Twitters and the YouTube channels stuff that we do. I'm sorry again for the technical difficulties. Should all be sorted by next week. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.